Now this is the follow-up video of finding the 6 trigonometric ratios. Sometimes the question will ask what is the angle rather than what is the trigonometric ratios. So in that case we need to find angle theta. Now most of the work is already done in our previous video. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go back and watch it. We already found the value of sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, and secant, and cotangent. Now to find this angle, we may use any of those 6 trig ratios. Okay, and we already found all 6. We just need one. Okay, so we can choose whichever we like. In this case, I can use sine theta, cosine theta, tangent theta to find the values. So let's go ahead and find that angle. So remember, I got sine of theta equal, let's go back, root 3 over 2. That's what we got from our previous videos. Okay, so I'm going to put root 3 over 2. I need to find what my theta is. Just like when we solve for x, we're going to have to find the value of x. Okay, and we're going to use the inverse property. Remember, for plus it's minus, for multiply it's divide. For sine, we use the word sine to the power of -1, which is called inverse. Sine inverse. Inverse of sine. Okay, so we're going to add sine inverse to both sides in this function. So I'm going to get sine inverse, and then I'm going to copy this, sine theta equal, I'm also going to add sine inverse to the other side, and then I'm going to bring my root 3 over 2. So all I did was, once I found my value, I added sine inverse to both sides in this equation, because this is an equation. What happens is my sine inverse and sine basically cancels, so I'll be left with theta equal sine inverse of root 3 over 2. Now if you know your unit circle, you should know this is going to give you pi over 3. Now if you do not know your unit circle yet, I would go ahead and use a calculator. So I have sine inverse of root 3 over 2. So in my calculator, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type second. So when I do the second, my sine changes into sine inverse. So let me go back. Do you see that how I have sine here, cosine, and tangent? We're not going to use sine h, cosine h, tan h. We're not going to use that, okay? We're just going to use sine, cosine, and tangent. And to change that into the inverse, I need to press second. And it switches into sine to the power of -1, which is sine inverse. So I'm going to click sine inverse of root 3. So it looks like it works opposite. So root 3 divide by 2 equal, and then I'm going to do sine inverse. So that gives me 60 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead, back to my problem. And then I'm going to put 60 degrees, which is equal to pi over 3. Remember the conversion formula, we worked on that before, so make sure you watch the video on that if you don't know how to convert degrees into radians. So this is in degrees and that is in radians. So depending what the question is asking for, if it's asking for degrees, you write in degrees, right? And if it's not, write in radian. Hopefully that was helpful. I can also show you that I'm going to get the same result no matter what trig identity I use. So for example, let's go ahead and do cosine of theta equals half. And my theta value is still going to be same, because remember, in the triangle, we're still talking about that same angle. So for example, let's say instead of sine, I decide to use cosine. So let's check on that one too. So I have my cosine of theta equals half. Again, I'm going to use cosine of inverse on both sides. So cosine inverse of cosine theta equals cosine of half. Cosine inverse of half. So I added cosine inverse to both sides. These two got cancelled. I'm left with theta equal. Again, I'm going to go ahead in the calculator. And then clear it. Again, I have cosine inverse of half. So let's do half, because my calculator works backward. So half, that's 0.5. And then I'm going to do of cosine inverse. Again, I got the same value, which is 60. So again, I'm going to get the same value, which is 60, because we're still talking about the same angle. So remember, no matter which trigonometric ratios you choose, it's always going to give you 60 degrees for your angle.
Like, subscribe and follow at Supermath Guru, K4C. And do not forget to practice every day.